Hi, it's Squashpickle here, and after a year-long break, I'm finally reviewing the Humble Monthly again. August's bundle features strong early unlocks, and many of the games are on my wishlist, but were they any good? Let's take a look, beginning with the early unlocks. Surviving Mars is a city builder strategy game published by Paradox Interactive. I was hesitant before playing this game, as I absolutely loved city skylines, and one of my favourite genres is city building. However, I did not enjoy Stellaris. I played a couple of Surviving Mars tutorial missions and was pleasantly surprised. The UI is well designed, and I was impressed by the texture quality and graphics. It is possible to zoom right into the buildings. My first mission was to acquire fuel in order to launch my rocket back to Earth. I did this by sending out drones to build fuel generators and pipes. I like watching the drones going about their tasks. One thing to consider is that there is over £70 worth of paid DLC, so consider this before playing. Overall, I enjoyed what I played. Next, I will be looking at Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a historically accurate medieval RPG set in Bohemia. I really like this game. The combat system is completely unique. To attack, you drag your mouse in the direction you want to hit, as opposed to just hitting directly in front. While it was confusing at first, I was able to fully understand the controls a few hours in. The game's difficulty arc seems to be opposite to normal games. The more I played, the easier combat became. This is also reflected with skills such as reading. The realistic nature of this RPG means that without the reading skill, books cannot be understood. When you learn the reading skill, you can actually understand books in the game. I'm also enjoying the story. Even though there is a lot of historic detail, in the simplest way possible, the story is that your parents die and you must avenge them. Kingdom Come Deliverance has great, realistic graphics that ran well on my PC despite me playing on an older R9290. The game also has an excellent soundtrack, particularly during cutscenes. There are a couple of things in the game that I wish was explained to me earlier on. For example, I was walking in a town without a torch and was suddenly fined and searched for stolen goods by one of the guards. I will be continuing this game and highly recommend. The Adventure Pals is a 2D adventure platformer where, naturally, you play as a boy and his pet giraffe. The art style of the game reminds me a lot of Scribblenauts, and the story very much reminded me of Adventure Time. Early on, you find out that your dad gets turned into a hot dog by Mr. B. The first mission was to collect some rubies in order to pay for your dad's ransom, by completing a few platforming challenges. I used a controller and the game controlled very well. I was able to fly higher thanks to my giraffe Sparkles, who could fly using his helicopter tongue. I think that people will know straight away whether this nonsensical humour is for them, but personally, I'm enjoying the game. Almost There is a 2D platformer with an emphasis on speedrunning. I originally played with the keyboard and didn't enjoy the game at all. However, once I played with the DualShock 4, the game greatly improved. I recommend playing with a controller, as controls are much more responsive. I unlocked the second world after playing about 15 levels in the first world. However, as you can see, my attempts in that world weren't very successful. Overall, Almost There is a fun, minimalist platformer. I'll probably play this whilst watching YouTube or a Twitch stream. Rising Storm 2 is a realistic war shooter set in the Vietnam War. This was my first realistic shooter. I played other shooters such as Black Ops 4 and Star Wars Battlefront 2, but never any shooters inspired by real-world conflicts. At first, the game didn't load and crashed. However, following online advice, I deleted the Rising Storm 2 folder in my documents and the game worked perfectly. There are a few different game modes to choose from, such as the normal skirmish mode, but I used a server picker and joined a multiple campaign server. The default matchmaker took a long time and couldn't locate a server. Once I finally joined the game, I enjoyed myself. The game works on a one-shot, one-kill basis, which wasn't favourable towards me. I died quite a few times. Sound design was good, and I could hear attacks from above, as well as other people talking around me. Despite me not being very good at the game, I enjoyed it. However, I don't think I'll return. Swords and Soldiers 2, Shawarmageddon, is a real-time Viking strategy game. Firstly, I haven't played the first game, so this is my first time playing a Swords and Soldiers game. From the minute I started it, I knew that I would enjoy. The voice acting and audio is really good, and there is some really funny humour. Combat is no different to card-based RTS games, and reminded me of Clash Royale. I used mana, which I gradually generated, to deploy troops, and used abilities such as Force Lightning Bolt to attack enemies. The first mission, which acted as a prologue, gave me a task to steal a magic golden lamp, and I was introduced to the Vikings in the second level. Overall, despite being a sequel, I thoroughly enjoyed this game, especially the humour. Yoku's Island Express is a Metroidvania where you play as a dung beetle postman named Yoku. The difference between this and other Metroidvanias is that the world is a massive pinball machine. You use the right and left triggers on the controller to control yellow and blue paddles to help Yoku move across the world, as this beetle cannot jump up. In the first mission, you are asked to get a mushroom for an eel in order to pass through his pond. I found the mushrooms he requested, as well as a hidden poisonous mushroom. When speaking to the eel, I was given the choice to give the eel the normal or the poisonous mushroom, which I thought was a great touch. The game has a colourful art style and a chill, tropical soundtrack. The whole game has a really joyful tone, and I look forward to returning to it. This month's Humble Original is 2D top-down RPG Don't Give Up. I really like this game. You play as Triss, a failing game developer. The game has a cool pixel art style and some great humour. In one of the early missions, I had to pick up my pizza, however somebody else wanted it, so a fight started. Combat is unique, and you weaken the opponent by giving insults before the fight. There are 4 squares, and 2 squares light up. To avoid the attacks, you need to stand on the unlit squares. I'm really enjoying the game's sarcastic humour, and will definitely be returning. At the current Steam price, all of the games would cost £116, and at the game's lowest ever price, the bundle's value is £50. The average Steam review score is 86% and positive. This month was my favourite ever Humble Monthly. I enjoyed every single game, and I felt that there was a variety of genres. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Adventure Pals, Surviving Mars, and Yoku's Island Express were all on my wishlist. Next month's early unlocks are Squad and Slay the Spire. Thank you for watching.